Grand Rising. Come on in, guys. Come on in. It is time for Spiritual Success TV Live. Go ahead and tag a friend, tag a family member. Today, we're on day 2, diving deep on detecting subconscious, unresolved subconscious programming that's causing inner conflicts. So come on, I'm going to throw a Grand Rising over here on Facebook, and we're going to get started. Let's see if they pick me up. There we go. I'm just going to throw a happy Tuesday up here, and then we're going to get activated. There you go. All right, come on in, say Grand Rising, let me know you're here, and we're going to dive right in. So you know the drill. Let's activate what I call the success mind. If you're sitting, go ahead and sit with your feet flat, your back straight, your good posture, open up your core, and take a good healing deep breath in. And exhale and relax. Relax deeply from the crown of the head all the way down to the soles of the feet. Turn that focus inward now. Take a good healing deep breath in. Exhale. We're tapping into the rich inner life, to the highest self, the Holy Spirit, the God self. Whatever language work, we want to tap in to the inner sanctum, to the sacred realm, the infinite realm. We breathe. Exhale and relax deeper. We're so thankful and grateful that we are here in high frequency February. And all this month we have been raising our vibrational frequency, all with the purpose of being able to create new reality, create new timelines, get a new mindset, right? New perspective, so that we are winning and doing what we say we was going to set out to get done this year. So yesterday we talked again about this unresolved subconscious programming that's calling the shots in your life. And we started laying down foundation. These are things that lower your frequency, pull your frequency down. And number one, I'm looking at the notes I used here for yesterday. We looked at these deeply embedded subconscious beliefs, deeply embedded. These are the ones that run on what I call autopilot. These are usually formed in childhood. Sometimes your earliest memories of disappointment or trauma, right? Separation, abandonment. These deeply embedded subconscious programs get activated at that stage. And so yesterday we talked about the signs and how you can tell when you have this deeply embedded, unresolved subconscious programming that's causing inner conflict. The inner conflict interferes with your ability to take proper action, to be consistent, to have clarity. And we want to clear that up. My assignment is to help you be the best you can be, so you can do what you were sent here to do, right? So when we look at it, we talked about one of the signs being self-sabotage. We talked about that yesterday. Watch the replay. Number 2, we talked about repeated negative cycles. Great Grand Rising, Jewel, thanks for joining me live. Repeated negative cycles. Number 3, we talked about procrastination. I want to talk about 2 more points, and we want to get into strategies so that you can start shifting. And I want to say this, beloved, you have to be committed. I tell my students all the time, this is not a one and done. I want you to put this in your notes. I want you committed to your personal and spiritual development. I want you committed and invested in your growth. And that is a lifestyle. It's not a one and done. We have to lose that mentality of lay hands on me, blow on me, spin around 3 times, it's done. You have to learn how to self-empower, how to self-govern, how to self-lead, because in this 3D realm, this physical realm, this earth realm, beloved, you are all powerful. You've been given a dominion mandate from day one. According to sacred texts from the Genesis writer, we were given a dominion mandate because we're made in the image and the likeness of the Almighty Creator God. And we have authority. So my job and my assignment is to walk with you hand in hand, taking as much time as you need to do the real work. And you won't begin to self-empower and grow and become free until you recognize that God lives within you and you break free and you get out of the box of organized institutional Western religion, philosophy, and doctrine that's designed to keep you obedient, to keep you small, to keep you not thinking, to keep you in fear. None of those things have anything to do with your relationship with God. All those trappings that we were in for years, and we're just now waking up, and there's nothing wrong with being woke. Don't let anybody tell you that that's some kind of slur. That's some kind of disparagement. No, beloved, we need to wake up out of sleep because we've been sleeping for a long time. All right? So we want to self-empower. When we say self-empower, how the ancients said over the temple door in ancient Kemet, our ancestors said, know thyself. And what do I always say? When you know yourself, when you truly know yourself, you're going to know God. Talk back to me. And when you know God, you're going to know yourself. There's no way you can say you know God and you have a relationship with God, but you don't know yourself and you don't know who you are. That denotes that we are still sleeping. Now, you may know God according to a religious institution's interpretation of God. You may know God through doctrinal interpretation of scripture, but you got to have that personal, intimate, one-on-one relationship with the Almighty, the God that lives within. Not a figure that we create, man created in the image of man. We created God. First, God created man in his image, and then man created God in man's image. Not that God. We want the Almighty, all-wise Creator, not a deity that we've been handed down, but we want the Almighty God, the original creator and designer. That's not a man. That has no genetic makeup. All right, so let's go. Number four, is inner resistance to change. Now, when we're talking about raising our vibrational frequency, you will be surprised how many people, I'm talking countless numbers of people, want transformation, want to be free, want the quote unquote deliverance, but don't want to change. Very resistant to change. Beloved, everything is always moving and changing. I don't recall the name of the songwriter, but it was a popular song for me back in the early 80s, late 70s, early 80s. And the songwriter says, everything must change. Nothing stays the same. The young become the old. Mysteries unfold. That's the way of time. Nothing and no one goes unchanged. But we are very resistant to change. And so we have to begin to master how we react to change. We have to begin to become so skillful that when change presents itself, we don't feel threatened by it. Because remember, the ego's mind, the job is to keep you small, to keep you shrinking, to keep you hiding, or either you're always going, moving, pushing, people pleasing, saying too much, doing too much. Beloved, all of this keeps you out of alignment with the high vibrational frequency of the Almighty. And when you're in misalignment of purpose, you're in misalignment of what we would call the will of God, the word of God, the way of God. Resistance to change. Resistance to change. What is one of the telltale signs? You don't want to be uncomfortable. When you start feeling something different, something uncomfortable, you don't like it, and you go back to what feels right and what feels comfortable. But when you are moving, changing, progressing, you're going to hit pockets of uncomfortability because you're going to hit pockets of the unknown. Can you put that in your notes and talk back to me? And say, I welcome the unknown because I'm safe. That is the whole thing, beloved. When you don't feel safe enough, which leads us into our next point, when you tap into the unknown or go into unfamiliar territory, how are you going to get to the place of blessing? How are you going to get to the place of what you are longing for if every time you sense change or sense something unknown, you run back to what makes you feel comfortable? You hide, you shrink, right? Come on, give me a great grand rise and let me know that you're here. Let me greet you. All right, so now this one is a big one. This is one that goes under the radar and we don't recognize it, and that is struggling with self-worth. Beloved, you will never attract, manifest, get blessed with, whatever language works for you, beyond the reality of what you can see for yourself, because you don't get what you think you deserve or what you think you should have. You get what you are. Let me say that a better way, because I have to use that word deserve in a different way, because you don't realize that you feel undeserving. You're going to attract what you are. That's why we're in here talking about frequency, vibration, how you be. What are you giving off? What are you attracting according to the way you think and the way you feel? So when we feel undeserving and unworthy, and you don't feel that consciously, you feel that subconsciously. Consciously, you say, I'm a millionaire, I'm a multimillionaire. Consciously, you say, I'm going to start the business, I'm a business owner. Consciously, you say, I'm going to retire from my 9-to-5 in 2 years. Consciously, you say all of that, but subconsciously, this is how you know what's there. Subconsciously, you don't take the action. Or if you do take the action, you don't have any consistency. You don't have follow through. You're always confused. You're always foggy about something. And that's not what we want. So talk back to me. Tell me, and what are these 5 areas from the self-sabotage, the negative patterns or cycles that keep repeating? Procrastination, resistant to change, struggling with self-worth. Where are you? I remember when I started on this personal development journey back in the early 90s, very early 90s. I remember looking at this whole topic of self-worth and not knowing how to fix it. I remember just sitting and meditating and saying, well, how do I fix this? I could see that something's not right because I'm not taking action. I'm hiding. I'm shrinking. I could do more, but I won't do more. And over a course of time, it started unraveling because I stayed with it. I stayed with it until I got to some strategy, right? I started studying about the subconscious mind and understanding how the subconscious mind works. And when you understand this, you'll understand how blessings work. You'll understand how deliverance work, how transformation work. So you start with reprogramming the subconscious mind. And the easiest way to begin to do that is to get an affirmation and start repeating it. That's the elementary level. That's the basic level, right? You start with an affirmation. You start with repetition. Write this in your notes, that repetition is the mother of all learning. That is the elementary way to start reprogramming the subconscious mind. So when you start reprogramming, when I take an affirmation with a declaration and a decree that's in alignment and agreement with my vision and my emotions, that is what I call a prayer formation. I'm taking prayer and bringing it into form, bringing it into a formation so that I can begin believing more of what I'm saying. All right? So reprogramming your subconscious mind, this is why I say, beloved, this is not a one and done. You want to move out of the realm of the hype of just having somebody lay hands on you, breathe on you, speak a word over your life, but then you are powerless to bring that word into manifestation. Now, when we speak about prophetic directives and prophetic decrees, the prophetic is still partial. It's personal. It's progressive. You still must play a part with bringing that word into full manifestation, because you have to come into alignment and agreement with what's said. Now, when a real prophet, someone in the office of a prophet, speak a word over your life, in that gifting is the ability to start that word in motion, to bring to pass what the word is said, just like the Creator when he said, let there be light, and there was light. So where do we come in? You will never even get what is created prophetically in the unseen realm until you come into alignment and agreement with it. Until, in today's vernacular, you become a vibrational match for it. Once you become a vibrational match for it, beloved, nothing can stop your good. That is why the psalmist says in 84:11, the psalmist writer, our God is a sun and a shield, gives grace and glory. No good thing is being withheld when you walk uprightly, meaning when you are in alignment and agreement. Because, beloved, you cannot have any vices operating in your life, meaning what I call the big five: smoking, drinking, fornicating, adultery, cussing, whatever, those things that we call sin. And remember, in our community, sin is missing the mark. You could not do any of those things. Go to church every single Sunday, dance and shout and give praise to God, and still be out of alignment and agreement with the will of God for your life. This is why we're here. This is why I do what I do, because it's about your growth and your development. It's about you having dominion mandate. It's about you being a divine sovereign in this 3D realm. It is about you being a divine creator, just like the Almighty, and you have to train yourself how to do it. Stop playing around. We've been running around for years, running from here to there to this year. In the 90s and the early 2000s, I crisscrossed this country going to conferences. Y'all remember we was in the conference age then. I was seeking, looking. I would go to conference after conference, gather up all this material, spend hundreds and thousands of dollars to get home and be powerless to bring it to pass. Hey, Grand Rising Andrea, thanks for joining us live. Prophecies I heard about myself was so grand, I found it hard to believe any of it, because I would look at my life and hear the prophecies and just find them so hard to believe. But that is what prophetic prophecy is. Prophecy, Andrea, you know this now, is about seeing another version of yourself. And knowing that the version that you are in right now is not who you're going to be the rest of your life. And I appreciate you so much giving that comment, because what begins to happen is that when we allow ourselves to not believe that there can be another version of ourselves, then that's why we get stuck and the prophetic never comes to pass, right? Coming into alignment with those prophecy What does that mean? What should I have done when they spoken it? Okay, very good. Excellent question. When you want to come into alignment and agreement with it, but you're having a hard time believing it, the first thing you want to do is record it some kind of way. And then you want to start adapting to it. In other words, you want to start allowing your energy, your spirit to come up to the level of the energy and the spirit of that prophecy. So when you write it down, you have to invest time in that and make it personal. And you can say, okay, this is big. This is real. I want you to hear this. What did you say? It is too late to get this prophecies? No. Am I too old or have I messed up too much? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I am so glad that you are bringing all of this forward. No, because words are eternal. You only decide now how much of that you want to come into alignment and agreement with. But the only way that you can get a true answer is to come into yourself, tap into your heart, tap into divine guidance in your stillness and listen to hear. Look to see what his spirit is saying. All right. So when we do our belief investigation and transformation, when we use that tool, sometimes, like Andrea is saying, the word or the belief is too big from where you are and where you see yourself now, and for what you saying or what was said to you, even through a prophetic word, is too big. It's too far away from you, right? This is what Andrea is speaking to. So when you look at that word, we begin to reduce it down so that we can feel better. So here's the word that says, I've gotten words that says, I will be with presidents, kings, I will be in the political sector, all of that kind of stuff, right? So when you look at a word like that, that's too big, well, I don't feel any of that. I don't see any of that in my life. Then we break it down to, in the Spiritual Success Lounge, there are tools, Andrea, that'll help with this. You break it down to, all right, it's possible. Now, I can believe that it's possible that I will be a multimillionaire. I don't quite believe I am. I can't say today that I am, but I believe that it's possible. Or you could say, if that's too much, you could just say, I'm willing to believe it's possible. So you want to just keep digesting it. And again, we have tools in the Success Lounge for this. You want to keep breaking it down into smaller pieces until you stop getting what I call that kickback, that fear of being great. Notice that when we talk about making something and coming in alignment, you bring it into the present moment. You make it personal. You bring it into the present moment. And then you just simply come into alignment with it on what level you can at the moment. What level would be, I'm willing to believe that it's a possibility. Can you believe that? Well, yeah, I can believe that. I'm willing to believe it's a possibility. I can be a multimillionaire. Why is it that it's a possibility that you're willing to believe? Because I know God can do anything. But more than that, I'm in a place now where I believe if I invest in myself a little more and be consistent, I could start changing. So it's never too late. This is why we're here doing the work. This is why I always say this is not a one and done. This is something that we're going to be doing the rest of our lives, because we're always growing, we're always evolving, we're always changing. And you can't get around the work. I'm going to close with this. Anyone that you see that has any level of success, they've all had to come to a place where I got to make this happen for me. You know how many conferences I went to, how many mentors I had back in the day, how many programs I joined, because I kept looking for that magic bullet, that thing to help. But then I got to a place when I finally hired a personal coach for myself. I hired my first mentor, right? I knew that I had to do this for myself. I needed some help. I couldn't do it. I couldn't just get material and read books. And I am a learner. I am an awesome student. I am a self-learner. I'm a self-motivator. I could do all of that. You just show me what to do and I'll do it. But I got to a place where I couldn't do it on my own. I needed support. I needed help, and I kept supporting my life ever since. Because, beloved, you are in the process of transforming, evolving, and there's too much working against us in 3D from our habits, our patterns, our cycles, our belief. You've had half of a lifetime probably believing and thinking a certain way. It's going to take more than just a laying on a hand, a blow on you, run around 3 times, or a prophetic word. So to make this very clear, how you come into alignment, you have to agree that you are worthy of that. I don't see it right now. I don't feel it right now. I don't believe it right now. But you know what? I'm willing to believe it's a possibility. I'm willing to believe that maybe I could just get out of this mess. And then you land there. You breathe there and give gratitude. I'm so thankful and grateful that I believe there's a possibility I can get out of this. And trust me when I tell you, the more you do that, the more you do that, the more you're going to grow. The more things are going to shift. The more things are going to change. What works against us? We're not consistent. We're not consistent. How many things have you started? Y'all talk back to me. How many things have you started and didn't complete? Right? Why do you think that people in the world even know? Why do you think there's a whole thing called hypnosis? Because even in science, they understand how to bypass the conscious mind to get to the subconscious mind and put a new program there, put a new command there, right? And so, yeah, many of us, we have strong conscious minds. Nobody can hypnotize me without my permission because my conscious mind is strong. But science understands how to bypass the conscious mind, how to get past all of the negative programming and put a new command there. That's all the affirmation is. But we take affirmation deeper in our community to develop what I call prayer affirmations, right? So hypnosis, doing shadow work. That's why we talked about the shadow self versus the God self. All of this is going to help you transform those limiting beliefs. And you have to stay with it, beloved. You have to stay with it and keep working. One day at a time. Today is day number, what is today, the 25th? Today is day number 56. We have been here every day at 7 a.m. because we're working on something. I'm working on something in my personal life. We're staying with it. Take a good healing deep breath in and exhale. I stayed on double time today, guys, but I love you guys. Share this on your timeline. Please give this a thumbs up. It helps the algorithm, and invite someone to come and join us. Have a blessed, wonderful, and amazing rest of your day. Bye now. Bye for now. See you tomorrow, 7 a.m. Eastern.